Opening day for America's favorite pastime may have come and gone, but we can still take a look at how average temperatures on this day have changed since 1970. Climate Central found that Major League Baseball cities have had an average temperature increase of 2.1 degrees Fahrenheit since 1970. We can even take a look at individual cities and teams to see how temperatures have changed for them over the last 50 years. For my hometown team of the Minnesota Twins, temperatures in Minneapolis have increased 2.5 degrees Fahrenheit. Closer to State College, the Philadelphia Phillies have seen an increase of 3 degrees Fahrenheit, and the Pittsburgh Pirates are close behind with an increase of 2.9 degrees Fahrenheit. In recent years, Major League Baseball has become more sustainable, with some teams becoming more energy efficient and even using solar panels to help lessen their carbon footprint.
The saying April showers bring May flowers typically refers to rain showers. However, this year, this may have an additional meaning. April 2021 will bring 3 astronomical events to the night skies. The first event is the Pyramid of Light, which is only visible 2 times a year during each equinox and can be seen in early April. This feature and its glow can be seen during sunsets in cities far away from light pollution. This glow itself is caused by light from the sun, reflecting off of dust scattered throughout the solar system. The next feature is the Lyrid meteor shower, the first major meteor shower in nearly 4 months. This shower is set to peak on the night of April 21st. The final event to keep your eye on is the super pink moon, which is set to rise on the night of April 27th. This is the first in a series of 2021 supermoons, although this full moon will not actually glow pink. Its name comes from the pink ground phlox, which will be the first wildflower to bloom this April. Needless to say, there's a lot to look forward in the night sky this month.
Hello, I'm student meteorologist Salix Iverson with your Central PA forecast. We had some amazing weather to start off this week with temperatures above average, but we will be experiencing a big pattern shift as we head into this weekend with a lot of rain in our forecast for the next couple of days. So let's start off by taking a look at our surface analysis for this weekend. We'll see we'll have a cold front off to our west, and with that cold front we'll have some rain and some breezier conditions for Friday. Moving on into Saturday, we'll see that the rain will stick around, but we might not be as impacted as much of our neighboring states such as Virginia, Maryland, and Ohio. There will be widespread showers on Saturday. However, we should be staying pretty dry compared to the rest of those states. And then by Sunday, the rain will come back into our area with another low pressure off to our north and our west. And so we'll have another day of some rain, especially in the morning. Should be clearing out as we head later into the day. Looking at our forecast for this weekend, we'll see that Friday will have a high of 59 degrees, which is right about average for this time of year, breezy and rainy. Moving on into Friday evening, we'll have a low dropping down to 51, otherwise mostly cloudy as the rain clears out. By
Twenty 2021 has been a chaotic year for weather so far, and that has continued to be the case as we enter the month of April. There are many factors which drive these weather patterns each year, but for this week's feature I want to talk about one in particular, the Gulf Stream. Now for those who are unaware, I'm actually revisiting this topic as I briefly covered it during a Nature in the News story last month. In order to go more in depth this time, I spoke with two professors at Penn State on the subject, Dr. Melissa Gervais, who does some research on changes in oceans and Earth's climate, and Dr. Raymond Najjar, who studies oceanography and coastal waters. Of course, in order to understand the importance of the Gulf Stream, it first helps to know how the Gulf Stream works.
It is a big transporter of heat in the poleward direction.
In general, storms can feed off of gradients in temperature. And by temperature gradients, what I mean is changes in temperature across space. And so the fact that you can go from a really warm Gulf Stream to a really cold continent in the winter, that can enhance the temperature gradient. And so storms can actually use that to feed off of to become stronger.
And both of them carry very warm water poleward. And, that sets up a lot of instability in the atmosphere, particularly in wintertime. And that ends up leading to a lot of cloud formation and precipitation.
Just as the Gulf Stream can influence the atmosphere, it can also be influenced. In particular, I wanted to see what role the ocean, and a process known as AMOC, played in affecting the Gulf Stream.
The Atlantic Meridional Overturning Circulation, or the AMOC, describes the overturning of the ocean circulation. So we have generally northward flowing ocean currents at the surface, and then we have deep water formation in the north, and then we have returning flow that's southward at depth.
What the overturning circulation is kind of a conveyor belt circulation in which you have warm water moving poleward in the Atlantic, and the Gulf Stream is a big contributor to that.
And in particular, the fact that you have this dense water forming in the North Atlantic and how that can help to kind of drive this overturning circulation. Now, that's a very simplified picture. It's actually much more complicated than that.
And indeed, I found in looking into this topic that analyzing and measuring the Gulf Stream is very complex. When I asked both professors about the difficulties of assessing the Gulf Stream, they actually gave pretty similar responses.
It is very challenging for us we have very limited observations time-wise, direct observations of the AMOC.
I think it comes down to the lack of direct measurements over a very long time period.
It's sometimes when you have a short period of time to look at, and you know that there's a lot of variability, there's a lot of things that can happen.
The ocean is a very difficult environment to make measurements in. There's a lot of fouling of instrumentation. There's also a lot of variability. It's expensive to take a ship out into the middle of the ocean. So there's a number of reasons why it's very challenging to directly measure ocean currents.
The Gulf Stream may not be talked about frequently, but its importance cannot be understated. In fact, both of the professors I talked to made sure to emphasize how the Gulf Stream could affect Earth's climate in the future.
With regard to tropical cyclones, anything that affects the surface ocean temperature is going to affect tropical cyclones. So, weakening Gulf Stream would not only lead to cooling of the subpolar North Atlantic, but should lead to a warming of the subtropical Atlantic. And that by itself, you could argue would strengthen tropical cyclones.
One aspect of the Gulf Stream that could be really important for weather is the relationship between the Gulf Stream and the storm track. So when it comes to future climate change and changes in the North Atlantic Ocean, this is something I have done some work on. My work in this region has talked about the impact of the warming hole, so this region where it's cooling. And you can kind of think of that as it's actually, so if you have the Gulf Stream coming north up the East Coast, then it kind of continues along, and there's a North Atlantic current that goes across the North Atlantic. And so there's there's typically a temperature gradient there. And this slowdown of the AMOC results in a relative cooling in the subpolar gyre, which is just north of it, so just south of Greenland. And that can lead to an increase in the temperature gradient, and that can actually modify the storm track and the North Atlantic jet.
The one area I did want to tell you about the importance of the Gulf Stream is that it does affect sea level. So the Gulf Stream, like most ocean currents, and actually like most wind systems in the atmosphere, is the force balance is largely geostrophic. what that means is that, if the Gulf Stream is coming at you like this, right? Coriolis force acting on the Gulf Stream is in this direction, right? To the right of its motion. And it's balanced, if it's a geostrophic current, it's balanced by a pressure gradient force in the opposite direction. And the way you get pressure gradients in the ocean, well, one of the main ways you get them in the ocean is by a tilting sea surface. So if the Gulf Stream is moving like this, the sea surface is actually tilting sort of downward towards the East Coast. And the stronger the current, the stronger the tilt. The sea surface is relatively low along the East Coast, say, compared to other places because of the strength of the Gulf Stream. So if the Gulf Stream weakens, right, if this current weakens, that means this slope is going to decline, and the sea level along the East Coast is going to rise.
More research continues to be done on these topics, but in the meantime, we'll have to wait to see what the Gulf Stream does, as well as 2021's weather. Reporting for Weather or Not, I'm Michael Jablonski.